It's Friday, and I'm back with the next in our Fanzine Friday series. Today we're taking a look at Red Giant number 5. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, a place for everyone that loves classic RPGs and anyone who'd like to learn more about them. Each week on the Fanzine Friday series, I take a fanzine from my collection off the shelf for a closer look. And today, it's Red Giant number 5. Hope you enjoy the video. For the last few weeks, we've been taking a look at this fanzine from the UK called Red Giant. This is the product of Toby Branfoot. And these aren't dated, so we're trying to sort of piece together when we think these issues were produced. I'm guessing this issue probably came out in 1982. Don't know that for sure. This is sort of a legal-sized piece of paper. It's stapled here down the side. This is just regular, sort of an orangish color paper here on the front and the back, and then regular paper, actually a little bit kind of on the thicker side paper here in the middle, and again just stapled straight through down the side. A really fun fanzine. Like I keep saying, this one really feels like it's got a lot of sort of the homebrew thing going on. Here is our cover artwork. We've got this fighter paladin type here with his flaming sword. It looks like he's going to have a little bit of combat with a monk here trying to get into some temple or monastery room. And this art is done by Robert Nucator. I think he did some art in a different fanzine as well. And I do notice here he has his initials and the date 1982 for his art. So I do think this is probably a 1982 fanzine. Packed full of stuff this time, right? Short editorial, new magic items, a couple new monsters, Forces Untold, which is a short story fantasy fiction. Escape, which is a Traveler scenario. Myrae's Spring is a D&D scenario. Problems of Power is a response to the opinions or DM opinion article from last time. Combat on Horseback, some ideas of how to set that into your D&D game. The idea of using themes in your campaign. Some more information about Traveler. A word search puzzle. Aftermath, sort of a review of that game. And then Light in the Ruins is a scenario for that. So we have the short scenario for Escape, the D&D scenario, we have the Aftermath scenario. So 3 different RPGs with scenarios, which is pretty impressive. Toby Branfoot, Thomas Haine seem to be core people who helped with this. Andy Leach, Jonathan Haine, Chris Gibbs, Richard Beaument, Jonathan Chadwick, Richard Halberstadt, and all contribute. And then I also forgot to list here Robert Nucator, who also provide some artwork for this fanzine. The editorial is probably, I'd say short and sweet, just talks about the different things that are in here and encourages people to continue to contribute. And as they say, we want to continue to get a variety of games covered in here. We can only do that if you participate. Some new magic items. The Whip of Wickedness is, whips are kind of a underutilized thing, so that's always something different. This has a sentientness to it. It's got evil tendencies. So if you're good or neutral, you get zapped if you try and pick it up. An evil line character will be able to use it. +2 to hit, but -3 on damage, which is an interesting, I guess you'd say, counterbalance for that one. And it does have a command word which will either cause it to animate, I think like float, and just keep whipping somebody until it kills them, or if you use the other command word, it will attack the person who's holding it and it'll whip you until you die. So that's a little unexpected. Marbles of the Element, John Haine. And I like this. You have a little metal box, and inside these 4 little marbles, different colors, white, red, green, and blue. And guess what they do? You throw them down and they cause an elemental to appear. But interestingly, to me at least, the white marble represents in his mind fire. And then the red marble, the green marble is earth, the blue marble is water, and the red marble is air. I probably would switch those, right? Have the red be fire and the white be air. But anyway, his item, he can do whatever he wants. And the air elemental will appear, and if you concentrate, then you can control it. The Skull of Entrapment is an evil artifact, and if you look at it in the eye sockets, it will basically sort of like paralyze you and then suck your soul in, like a magic jar type of effect. It has 2 eyes, and so it can hold 2 people in there. And if you as a DM decide there's a person or 2 in there, you'll sort of see a faint little human or whatever creature, elf, dwarf, whatever shape in there of the soul, just where the eyeball or the eyeball would be floating back inside the skull eye socket. And if it has 2 people in there, it's maxed out. It can't suck anybody else in, so then you'll be protected. But if you manage to figure out how to get one of those out, then you might accidentally get sucked in yourself. So pretty cool, pretty powerful item. I think it says you use holy word or pour holy water over the skull, and that will cause the characters to be released. 2 monsters this time, the Grinalsh and this Vinosh. The first one is a friendly type of a human, tends to live in caves, and they're very good at making potions. They're basically shy and could be friendly, but if you attack them or get on their bad side, then they can fly. They can attack you with usually tridents. They have some other weapons as well, and probably give you cause your party some problems. The Vinash is a race of intelligent humanoids that have control over the life force around them. They can't take life energy from a living creature, but they can draw life energy from any animal that they kill. Like if they go hunting, they draw that animal's life essence out as it dies, as well as non-living. So I don't know if they think plants or not, but certainly from the earth, from the rocks, from the air, from the water. They can pull in this energy and release it. It'll stun you for a turn. It's basically how they and do 1d6 damage. So that's basically their most common form of attack. It's just a little piece of fantasy fiction, I think, that says there's supposed to be 5 parts to this. So this one we're just sort of getting the story warmed up. Starts off talking about this guy who lives in a village. He didn't really fit in, so he went up to live in the mountains, and then there's like this big thunderstorm, and it sort of like shocks him out of his stupor, and he decides he has to go forth and adventure. So more to come on that one. This is just a little scenario for you in Traveler where you're playing. It has like 2 parts. One is this guy hires you to go do this job for him. You're going to end up getting caught, and then the second half of the scenario is you trying to escape. So here is Myrae's spring, and it's this these healing water, sort of like the natural springs we have different places that come up through the earth. So they built this shrine around it. You could go there. It's supposed to cure your disease, heal you, that kind of stuff. So it's a really well-known attraction, right? Draws people in. This guy came. There's 2 different versions of the story. He was a magic user. Said he wanted to come use the waters. His version is they rejected him because he's a foreigner. Turns out, I guess the people that ran this place were a little bit racist, and the magic user was an elf, and that's why they didn't want him mingling in their waters. But in any event, he became extremely angry, kills some of the people, runs everybody else out, won't let anyone else back into the spring, and begins to convert it into his lair, I guess is really the right way to say that. Whoops, hold on one second. Okay, and here's our little map. The smooth parts are what was there originally, and the curvy cavern-like parts are what he's done. He keeps using these like dig spells to dig out through the caverns, but essentially you came in the middle. There would have been a little reception area. You take off your sandals, you take off your clothing, get yourself a little cloak, and then you can go in and sort of like soak in the waters and get the healing properties and leave. You can kind of see in the middle there's been a big cave-in collapse that he's caused by digging stuff out. He keeps piling all the rubble here in the middle, and then if you go all the way around, you've got a second little pool you could go into there, which he uses just now just for himself. It's a fun little adventure. Definitely not even a whole evening session if you have a long play session, but you can just drop this in anywhere, right? Make it a little side quest, whatever you want to do. Here's response. Last time this guy was talking about the problems of having high-level characters and how he basically thinks you have to get rid of them. This guy said, "Oh my gosh, what a horrible idea to suggest to young DMs that if people get to be high level, you should kill their characters." He said, 1, your players aren't going to want to play with you anymore if you just blatantly set out to kill their characters that they've clearly invested a long time in. And he does say, as an aside, if you're going to be 10th, 15th level character, that should take literally years, calendar years, right? If you're letting people do that in a few weeks or a few months, your campaign's kind of broken, and that's a whole other issue. But anyway, he says there's lots of high-level monsters to do. There's complex things to do. What if they build a kingdom? There's all kinds of sort of like, different level of challenges or problems you can create other than just dungeon delving for people who want to have a barony, build a castle, control an area on the map, and so on and so forth. So I'm definitely on this guy's side of that. There's plenty of fun things to do for higher level characters, and you can change the challenges, right? Maybe it's not just a direct linear, I march forward and we go to combat and then I win and I keep marching forward, right? There's lots of other creative things you can do as a higher level campaign. Here's a short article, Combat on Horseback. I like it. It's pretty realistic. He says, basically you go through training sessions like you're supposed to do when you gain levels, and he sort of moves you up, for every week you work with a horse and a trainer. You go from basic maneuvers, learning how to canter, gallop faster, fight with a lance, and then learn how to sort of fight with sword or mace or whatever it is from horseback. And then you can basically go up to second level and third level and so on and so forth. So here's a really good article that I liked about having a theme to your adventure. And he sort of says, here's what I think. The basic one is curiosity. This is just, hey, I just want to go dungeon delving to find what's there and obviously reap the rewards. The second sort of theme to what's going on might be the mission, right? This is, you're hired to, maybe you just hear a rumor and do it on your own. But, I'm going to find this lost artifact. I'm going to rescue this princess, whatever it is, that kind of thing. You got a specific thing in mind. You go out, push your way through challenges / combat. You get the thing or you achieve the thing, defeat maybe the mission is go defeat the head of the bandits, whatever it is. But you had a very specific goal in mind, and you can sort of say, yes, I accomplished it. And then maybe you get a reward if you were hired, or you just get the benefit of experience and the goodies if you did it on your own. And the third one, he says, is the quest. To me, the quest is sort of like the Uber mission. It's the larger overarching thing you're trying to do that will cause you to go through a series of maybe curiosities or smaller missions to get there, right? But that's, as he said, the quest is designed for a campaign over time, and it's to give your players, if you all like that, a sense of something bigger that you're a part of. Anyway, I like all these things. The thing that's probably the most helpful any campaign, any day, from any year, is to think about what you and your players enjoy in terms of play style. And are you just getting together because you like, bashing orcs? Do you like some type of storyline, whether it's, big picture like Tolkien, or is it just, just any storyline? It can just, it doesn't have to be sort of epic, but anyway, very thoughtful. Article on Traveler, having vehicles in your campaign, trying to just flush that out. Here's a little word search puzzle. I think these kind of things are always fun. Things from the depths, monsters and treasures. Doesn't give you the words. That's the challenging part here, right? He's like, see what, I see the top left corner going across. It says the word rope. All right. Or maybe it says roper. Maybe I got two words there, right? Rope would be the monster. He's just like, basically just keep looking and see how many you find. And then maybe next issue, I'll show you how many I think are in there. Anyway, kind of fun. Aftermath is a new game from Fantasy Games Unlimited, and so he goes through and explains how this sort of futuristic combat, sci-fi, I think of type thing works. And then he's got this little adventure where you go through this ruined town. So, as he said, maybe even the first published adventure for it anywhere. Here's a little map if you're working your way through the town, and here's a little bit of the artwork that they had in there from that scenario. Okay, that's our look at Red Giant number 5. Hope you all are enjoying this series. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you're subscribed. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And until next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.